If you do not build yourself on purpose, you will collapse by accident. We live in a world drowning in choice, hundreds of careers, thousands of paths, but everyone is lost, not because they're stupid, not because they're lazy, but because they do not know who the hell they are. If you do not master yourself, you will be mastered, not by a tyrant, not by some external villain. Your distractions, your emotions, your fears, your confusion. We were told to keep our options open, to be well-rounded, balanced, but if you study every immortal name in history, you'll find something cold and consistent. They mastered themselves before they mastered the world. They found their core, sharpened it, and bent reality around it. Those who didn't, they were forgotten. Or worse, they were destroyed by the very world they couldn't understand. Vincent van Gogh is among the most famous and influential figures in the history of Western art. He was born in 1853, and he created roughly 2,100 artworks. Most of these were produced in his last 2 years. He is remembered today as a tortured genius, but in his time he was a ghost, rejected by galleries, shunned by society, considered unstable even by his family. But he wasn't lazy. He wasn't undriven. Van Gogh had a fire inside him, strong enough to light 1,000 suns. But that fire had no direction. He bounced between roles: failed teacher, failed missionary, failed philosopher, desperate brother, and finally, a painter. And even then, he couldn't anchor himself. He chased feeling over form, speed over structure. He painted with the urgency of a man bleeding from the soul, many in manic bursts. Sleepless nights, starving days, but he refused to slow down, to refine, to edit, to choose one methodology and master it. Yes, he was obsessed, but not in control. His mind was wild, untamed. He didn't study himself. He drowned in himself. And the cost? In 1888, he mutilated his own ear during a breakdown. And in 1890, he walked into a field, took a gun, and shot himself in the chest. He was 37. He died alone, with no recognition, no reward, no rest. He sold one painting in his entire life. His genius was real. His vision was raw. But genius without mastery is suicide in slow motion. Van Gogh didn't fail because he lacked passion. He failed because he never learned to command it. He mastered his expression, but never himself. Contrast this with Leonardo da Vinci. He wasn't just a painter, he was a world builder, anatomist, architect, scientist, military engineer, inventor. His obsession, like Van Gogh, was total, but his approach? Controlled, designed. Da Vinci kept 13,000 pages of notes, not chaotic rants, but schematics, cross-sections, lists, hypotheses, observations. He dissected corpses to understand muscle tension, studied the flow of water to render movement in hair, measured faces, bones, clouds, plants. Nothing escaped his lens, not because he was bored, but because he saw patterns in everything. He wasn't rushing for results. He was building an empire inside his own mind. He painted rarely, but when he did, he turned canvas into revelation. He was famously slow. The Mona Lisa took him 4 years, and even then, he never even considered it finished. But in that slowness was structure. In that delay, deliberation. He chose to master form, not just paint feeling. He was consulted by kings, invited in courts, respected, revered. He died at 67, not in madness, but in peace, in a bed of legacy. So, what's the difference? Both Van Gogh and Da Vinci had obsession. Both had vision. Both were geniuses. But only one became immortal, because only one turned obsession into a system. Mastery isn't a mood. It's not just passion. It's not chaos. It's architecture. You must study yourself like a machine. Where do I break down? What makes me irrational? Where do I hide? What was I doing when I forgot time existed? These aren't journal prompts. They are mission diagnostics. Mastery doesn't begin with talent. It begins with observation. Brutal and repetitive observation. So ask, what work feels like war, but you crave it anyway? What makes you forget food, time, and even pain? What craft makes you feel real again? According to Robert Greene, author of the famous books 48 Laws of Power, The Laws of Human Nature, that is your life's task. And once you find it, you protect it, and you work for it, with blood, silence, and suffering. Then it comes the hard part, the grind, the boredom, the revisions, the pain of being wrong over and over. But on the other side, it's clarity, it's order, it's dominion. You became predictable to yourself and unpredictable to others. You stop drifting away from your true goals and you start building yourself like a weapon. You don't need to master everything. You don't need to master everyone. But if you do not master yourself, you will be mastered by everything else. By trends, by your emotions, by your own weakness, by time. If you would only master one thing in life, then the only thing worth mastering is you.